Man, Detroit versus everybody, man. Detroit, we rep the hardest, man. We gain the hardest. You know what it is, man. Detroit, CJ, holla at your boy when we get home.
Don't forget to check out our sponsor, The Health Blaze, at thehealthblaze.com. 100% all natural products from lotions, soaps, foot soaks, bath bombs, and much, much more. Use the promo code Goodfella1Boxing. Tell them your boy CJ Goodfella sent you. Get 18% off. We out. Okay, man, we back. Goodfella Sports TV. And let's talk about Errol Spence and Graylin. One of my subs was telling me about this article that he said on boxing that he said on All the Smoke. And it kind of must have zoomed past my ears because I was in the shower listening to it. And he basically said that he only drunk 26 ounces of water for a 9-week camp versus Shawn Porter. And he kind of said that, you know, he made the fight harder than he had to make it. But sometimes you are what you are. You know what I'm saying? If you like to mess with big booty chicks, you like big booty chicks. And, you know, you might be telling people I prefer petite women, but if you like the BBWs, the dick chicks, you know what you're saying. And your actions say two different things. And sometimes you are what you are. And what you are, Errol Spence, you're not disciplined. You know what I'm saying? You like to turn up in between camps. And also Premier Boxing Champions don't give you a long enough notice so you can get in camp and train and get them extra weeks so camp won't be that hard. Errol Spence is a guy that probably needs 12 weeks of camp rather than 9. You know, but let's get into it. Hit that subscribe button, bell icon button, share the video. And I'm just tired of talking about these welterweights, but hey, it is what it is. And he says he only drank 26 ounces of water per day. That's impossible. I wish I had. I think I do got one back here. Somebody ain't got. No, here we go. Well, I got a cup right here. This is just under 17 fluid ounces of water. So he's saying basically that he drinks around 9 more ounces than this. So he probably drink a cup and just over half of what this is. A bottle and just over half this is during camp. You doing all that sweat and you only eat 2 times a day. And that's cool. I'm not tripping on 2 times a day. Some religions or some, creeds believe in 1 meal a day. So I'm not shocked by that. But for you to only drink in the way he sweat, people say, well, I don't drink that much water a day and this, that, and the third. But the way that man sweat, I seen him in camp with they got the old crunk style of Derrick James gym. No air conditioning. They just sweating all that. It's impossible to be fully functionable and only drink 9 ounces of water a day. It's 26, what do you say, 26 ounces of water a day and be functionable. That's not healthy at all. And if he doing that, bro, somebody need to keep it 100 with him and say it's time to move up. Because we see that the discipline isn't there between fights, no matter what he want to say. How many times have you seen Errol Spence in shape in between camp? Not too many times. So this is why, a lot of fighters don't improve, because when they get to camp and they only doing 9-week camp, 10-week camp, 8-week camp, 7-week camp, they so much focused on cutting weight rather than getting better. You know what I'm saying? You doing all this strength and conditioning, even when you do strength and conditioning and then you go to the gym, you still more focused on cutting weight rather than, learning what your mistakes are at. So with him, if that's true, they just need to go ahead and say, big fella, it's time to move on up. Because this is the reason you have a coach. This is the reason you have managers. This is the reason you have an advisor. In the long term, staying at 47 is going to kill your lifespan. You're going to be out here, no offense, talking like James Toney, talking like Evander Holyfield. Your brain sits in water. So for you to only drink 26 ounces of water a day, that can't be healthy for 9 weeks. And then again, you can't even drink water unless it's a unification bout with your IBF. Until you unify, you only can drink water for 10 ounces. I mean, you can't drink water until after the morning of the weigh-in, because you got to weigh in again. Now, if he said that he had to do the same day weigh-in, which is you only can hydrate 10 pounds above the 47-pound limit, which is 157 pounds. But that shouldn't be the rule, because in the IBF unification bout, there is no same day weigh-in no more. So if they make Errol Spence weigh in again versus Shawn Porter, and it was unification bout. Then it's some hypocrisy. It should be you should be able to sue them because they didn't let Canelo had the rehydration clause waived. Then he put it back in for Danny Jacobs. So I mean, I don't get it. So either Errol Spence lying, or he need to read his IBF rule book. If you go into another fight with Danny Garcia, you are a unified champion. It's you unified. You don't have to do the same day weigh-in. They took it out for the Canelo. It's called the Canelo rule. But him doing that, you got to have people to say, hey, it's just time to move up. Because every time you take punishment to the head in sparring, punishment to the head in a fight, you aging yourself more and more, trying to drain yourself to fight at a weight you can't. And eventually, as you get into your 30s, your body is going to fail you. That one shot you can use to take on the chops, you ain't going to be able to take it no more. So it's time for him to move up. But sometimes you are who you are. You're not disciplined. People say, well, he made the fight harder than he had to. Or I was in the sauna an hour before Mikey Garcia fight. That's just who you are. You only as good as your last fight. In the fight before that, you was draining yourself. That's what people got to understand with the kid. He is what he is. He's not disciplined in between fights. He always gonna blow up in between fights because he's fighting so low, low under his natural weight. Anybody that know boxing can see in his face the way when he fight, the way he drain. He's a skeleton in there. And it may be to the point on some Canelo shit where 54 might just be a pit stop, but he might have to go right to 60. Every fight that he stays at 47, is going to take another fucking fight off of staying at 54. That's what happened to Canelo, suppressing his weight for so much. 54, catch weights, 55, 54. And all of a sudden, he had to go from 55, I think it was 54, to 164 and a half versus Chavez. He stayed at 160 for Triple G. A couple fights there. He jumped up to fight Rocky Fielding at 68. He jumped up to stay. He can't really make 60 no more. Easy. That's why he touring around moving up and down in weight. Because for years, Canelo should have been a middleweight. They was trying to get him to be a welterweight. I remember that. He was fighting every welterweight at a catch weight you can name. Lower level. He was designed to be a welterweight. But he was just so big and stocky that they had to make him a 54-pounder. And years went by, he was a 60-pounder. You see his knees hurting. That ain't no surprise that his fucking knees hurting. All that when you drain your body of natural, nutrients and water and just vitamins and shit of that nature, man. Down the road, that's why you see a lot of these fighters mumble talking and all that shit. So every time Errol Spence, stay at 47, longer and longer and longer, he knocking years off his life, fucking career, and he knocking years off of, being able to stay at 54. You are what you are. You just a big motherfucker that like to party, that like to drink, that like to blow up into him. He can't help it, bro. He said, during the quarantine, I'm just gonna, I've been, cutting the weight. I'm in the 160s now. I'm never going to blow up in weight again. And he said that after the Sean Porter fight. And what'd he do? Go crash the car? Even after the crash, he gets out drinking and eating chicken wings with Yellow Beezy and partying and dancing. That you are what you are, bro. It's cool. You're not disciplined in between fights. And a lot of fighters haven't. Had Pernell and Sugar Ray Leonard be more disciplined, maybe they would have had a longer run. It'd take a special fighter like Ward, Hopkins, Floyd to live a clean fighter's lifestyle. Your performance versus Sean Porter, you won. There's no point to make excuses. Don't make the excuses. Make the correction. But you can't make the correction because you're naturally a big guy. There's no correction to be made. You're not going to diet and eat correctly in between every training camp. You admitted during training camp, that's what kind of fucked me up because I missed that part or hearing that part saying 26 ounces water a day during a 9-week camp, what fucked me up was saying he still said he be eating junk food in camp. He said I got a junk food problem. I be eating it in camp. So if you sneaking and eating junk food in camp, you know what I'm saying? So you compromising your water intake for some junk food? That junk food that he's sneaking, that's probably easily, thousands of calories that he can be using for water. See, you got to listen to, it's very important when you got to listen to what these dudes be saying. So you rather compromise your water intake, which that helps make up your muscle, your brain sits in water. You rather compromise your water intake for some fucking hot Cheetos or whatever else the fuck he eating, Twinkies and shit like that, bonbons and, chocolate muffins and shit. You rather compromise that for water intake? I'm telling you, bro, the issues with this dude is premier boxing champions don't give him enough time to know when he's fighting. If a pay-per-view if you only had a 9-week camp for a pay-per-view, that just don't make no sense. And I should say, you know what? Errol, a big guy. We know he blew up in between fights. Let's make sure that we give him enough notice to comfortably make the weight. Let's give him 12 weeks notice. Hey, look, this is when you fighting, 12 weeks. And you give him that additional 3 weeks, that'll help. But what he has to understand is all this excuse making, every fight go by, it's the same shit. Or I said in the sign-up for Mikey Garcia and I didn't have the power, wasn't there. That's no mistake. That's no excuse. There's a correlation between you draining yourself and your body is starting to tell you it's time to move up. That's the God honest truth. Your body is telling you that it's time to move up. And before long, you're going to miss your train at 54, going back up to original weight. You're going to sit there for a minute. You're going to take a couple fights there. Your body going to start to fail you again. You're going to be like, damn, what the fuck happened? It's going to be time to move up to 160. And before you know it, man, your head, your motherfucking brain going to be a soggy ass cabbage. And this is why we need real boxing guys running boxing. Somebody need to tell this motherfucker, like, hey, it's time to move up. Because by the time you get to Keith Thurman or you get to a Crawford or you get to a guy that's gonna be able to really, make you fight a hard 12 like Sean Porter did. Sean Porter ain't no elite welterweight. By no means of the imagination. He almost beat you. So what happened when you step up another level? If Keith Thurman come back healthy, what happens if you fight Keith? He another dude that's struggling with weight. But he got power, he got speed, and he got leg movement. His legs gonna start, moving and saying. That's how you gotta know when to move up. You gotta know when to move up, and it's time for Errol Spence to move up, man. But hey, let me know what you guys think. Don't forget me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I'll link that article from Boxing Scene in the description. All the social media links in the description. You got business question, inquiry, response, video request. Want to make a donation to the channel, Cash App, PayPal in the description. Best way to donate, share the video. Appreciate the love, support. One time for the one time. It's your boy CJ Goodfella. We gone.